short meeting if I remember.
Yeah.
I wasn't here, so I can't vote, but.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Chair's report, I have no report to give. Code enforcement officers report.
Codification's done.
What's done?
What's that?
The codification
Oh.
that we worked on, that's done through council. It's all up on the website. The old code has been removed and the new code is up there and accessible. So that's kind of exciting news. Sure you all have heard some of the rumors about the things that are coming to town. And I told you good things were happening. And they should be coming to the planning board either next month or the month after. I think they're hoping for next month, but they would have to have,
I've not heard rumors, but
Rumors.
What rumors?
well,
the rumors, so.
Aroma Joe's.
Oh, that one. Oh, yeah. Oh, that one. Yeah.
That's good.
That's a
Maybe-
good one. That's a good thing.
Is there space to add a Starbucks right after that one? I mean,
So, anyway, other things are happening, so we'll be having some more meetings here.
oh, I thought it was like something like a new.
I know.
Like a new business that was going to bring in 1,000 jobs or something like
Yeah.
that.
Something cool like that.
I don't know why I
It's
thought
gonna
that.
bring
I
in-
was
it's
just-
gonna
Babies.
bring- It's gonna bring in some jobs and
Yeah.
some good coffee, so,
Yeah.
And lots more traffic.
yeah.
Lots more
Projection.
traffic.
All right. So, that's all I have to say tonight, I guess.
Okay, thank you. Unfinished business? I guess we have none. New business. A, site plan review, commercial garage equipment storage, applicant Joshua Burley, location at 75 Heritage Parkway.
It's not Burley,
It's Braley.
it's Braley.
I know I pronounced that.
Burley.
Oh, excuse me.
Braley.
Yeah,
It's okay.
it's very clearly Burley, excuse me for that.
So this is in the Heritage Park, Industrial Park there. I've got that, pulled up here. So it's lot 48. And, it's right between the boatyard and, Barry's. And Josh is here, if he wants to tell you a little bit about what he's doing.
Basically, it's a storage place for all my businesses. I own up the front. I own Down East Communications and Down East Lawn Care, so I need a place to store all my equipment, place to meet, all that good stuff.
It says cold storage on the application.
For now, it's gonna be cold storage. I am,
You just mean unheated.
yeah, unheated. I am putting radiant heat in the pipes in for future.
Because when I hear cold storage, I think of food,
Food and all
No.
that.
stuff like that.
Just storing lawnmowers, vehicles in the winter,
So unheated storage.
Yeah. but
How long you been in business?
since 2020.
Oh. And do you service just the Blocksport area?
I service anywhere that wants to pay me money.
There was something on there, maybe I didn't read it properly. So you'll have public water connection. And,
Yeah.
oh, public sewer, okay, I saw it, there was no, I saw nothing.
We talked, you wanted to put a bathroom in, right?
Yeah.
So for employees.
Yeah, no, I looked above it and I said, no septic system, but you taking one.
Yeah.
City.
City,
And what's this, the Down East Communications, what's that, is that just?
I install Wi-Fi, security cameras, low
Okay.
voltage wiring, all kinds of audio equipment, owls.
Oh, the.
That's what that is.
Yeah.
Is this zoned for that type of business?
Yes.
Okay.
How many employees will you have there?
All said and done, I'm hoping to have at least 5. Right now I have 2.
Is that for maintenance of equipment and there?
I mow
or-
50 lawns a week during the summertime. surrounding towns.
Think of all those kids you two put up in business.
I hire a couple of them, does that count?
I don't know how many do that anymore, George.
Yeah.
I used to do
Yeah.
that.
It's hard enough to find them to come work.
You know, for 50 cents you mowed lawns,
You
and I
deliver
figured
papers
$1
and
or
you mow
whatever.
No one's doing it for $1
Now
anymore.
you spend $50 to get a lawn mowed, or 100, I don't know.
Do they have
Last time you
gas powered
spent
engines
50
back
cents
then
in?
for a lawn?
Did they have gas powered engines back then?
We had bush mowers, couldn't afford gas one.
I remember those.
Yeah, probably is.
Technology's changed a little bit.
All right.
So is it full lawn landscaping, or is it just like lawn, like mowing lawns?
I
or
just
do you
mow,
do-
mow,
yeah.
weed whack, blow off driveways, just lawn care.
And are you gonna do plowing in the winter, or?
No,
Okay. I know sometimes people will do both.
can't go snowmobiling if you plow.
Yeah, that's true.
Does that, property slope? I noticed there's like the
Yeah.
big, you've got a big,
It slopes towards the back, it all, but I got it filled in, like, most of those trees are gone now,
Okay.
and I filled in towards the back.
so it slopes back from the.
It slopes back from the road, yeah.
And what's behind it on the other side?
What's that?
What's behind it on the other side, the back side?
Just trees.
You mean the back
The house,
property, the abutting property?
Yeah, yes.
What is
That's
that?
Nat Gray's property, and it's just wooded,
Do
and
they still have horses there? Or is
no,
that in
it's just a
front?
big field. They built a house up in behind here, right there.
Hmm.
So,
Oh, it's just like dirt. Oh.
Is that a driveway there on that other
Yeah.
lot?
just a long driveway.
Wow, okay. It looks like there's a small
I
building
know, but
there.
they got lots of grass, so you might be able to.
And pick up another lawn.
Yeah.
Talking about that there,
Yeah.
that's just a little shed.
Okay, yeah, so there's nothing like that could possibly, should it leak, it would drain back into that property, correct, or no?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Yeah, okay.
Isn't there a natural kind of
Yeah, that's
swale between that driveway and the back line of the
well, this is,
industrial?
Ed's Automotive is down here, so this is that big hill.
Yeah.
So that Nat Gray's long driveway there, it comes out on that hill. I don't really have any good way to show you that, but anyway. So. But yeah, there's a big swale back in there, so the water will just kinda go back towards that swale.
Is this gonna be a storefront in the future?
I don't have that answer right now, but I hope so, eventually.
You intending to pave around that at some point, or
It's required.
it is paved, gonna be?
No, it's gonna be,
It's
it's
gonna be at
required
some
as
point,
part
yeah.
of the town's agreements with the law owners up there.
A little slope, so it'll be, I mean, it takes care of basically most of your drainage, but it does kind of concentrate it a little bit.
Did this
Mhm.
driveway?
And then I'm assuming those utility poles, you're just gonna come off that, so we don't have any on your.
Yep, it comes
It's
off
already set. You
the,
don't need to set any up in here.
nope, everything's there.
Yep. Oh, so you
Plumbing.
just come off that.
Water, sewer,
I think there's a
comes right off that.
pole right there on the corner.
The bottom
shows-
Yeah,
yeah.
it shows them
Yeah.
on this map.
pole will be is right about here.
Oh, yeah, it
Comes
does,
right that
yeah.
way.
Yeah, okay.
Mhm.
So do you have a pole next to your building, are you running underground, or?
There's a pole right on my property that I can do an aerial connect right to the building.
So a mast of some sort on your building?
Yep.
You won't need fencing, right? There's nothing like security wise?
No.
Yeah, so everything's gonna be stored in the building.
Yep, and I'll have security cameras outside.
That's what he does.
I was gonna say.
be locked down like Fort Knox.
No, I don't know. I didn't mean if you had like equipment you were gonna store outside that you.
Couple trailers, but that's about it. Equipment trailers and stuff.
Any other questions for Mr. Pearlie? Discussion?
No.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Any more to add to that, Luke?
I don't think so, I mean, it's very basic,
Yeah, it's very,
but the ordinance said it needed to come to you guys, so here we are.
Okay, good, thank you. Item 7, administrative business, none.
You gotta
I
either,
was gonna say we gotta vote.
Oh, you forgot to vote.
Oh, this is just a site plan, we haven't even gone through level 2 yet, did we?
this is it.
Excuse me?
This, level 2 is planning board, that's all level 2 is. Level 1 is
This
code.
site plan review is a level 2?
Yeah.
I guess we need to vote then, my mistake. All right, any more discussion need to be done? Anybody wanna make a motion?
I'll motion it to approve.
I'll second.
Motion second to approve, any more discussion need to be done? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Perfect.
Good job.
Yeah,
Thank you very
excited,
much.
thank you guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, guys.
Come see me, we'll do permits.
Okay, I'll come see you tomorrow.
I guess now we can move on to item 7. Administrative business, none.
Well, just ask some questions about this, like I was talking with you about the industrial front.
We can't do that at a later point.
It's discussion.
It's called discussion. Limited public
How long have you been
forum.
coming to these meetings, George?
What's that?
How long have you been coming to these meetings to not know?
An opportunity for the
it's kinda
public to address the
connected.
board on matters related to land use or planning in the town of Bucksport. Rich, you have any?
Well, I guess since I'm here.
Here we go.
You had
I had to ask.
Yeah, no, I think it's important, this came up at the last council meeting, but, the 2003 and the 2017 comprehensive plan show residential growth in areas where it's already been built out. And if we're looking for more residential growth, we're gonna really have to get creative in the town. You wanna show them the map that we had?
I guess we got time, unless anybody's in a big hurry. I'll see, layers, zoning.
Rich, can you elaborate on that?
Yeah.
There was a survey in 2003 and 2000.
Well, in your in the comprehensive plan for the town, there were areas that were recognized in 2003. So when the plan was redone in 2017,
Mhm.
the areas weren't changed. And in that time, the middle school was built,
Mm.
the Miles Lane trails were built. Racecourse Road had houses built up, so there's a lot of what you've got there.
Isn't the
So-
solar farm in that area?
No. So yellow
Yeah.
is your residential growth.
Yeah.
This is the Miles Lane trails, and
Yeah.
unless you want to get rid of Miles Lane trails, we're not building there.
Right.
Someone bought these 2 parcels of land so that no one would build next to him, so those 2 are now gonna be gone. The town purchased
Who, about the parcels of, land- say, go back up for a second. They
these
bought-
2 right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, that, Justin Clapper is his name. He owns this 3rd parcel here, so. One of these parcels over here was purchased by a developer from Portland who was going to do a housing development in there.
It was too wet.
It was I walked the entire thing, it was way too wet. So there won't be any residential growth in this area. This parcel of land right here was part of Wendy Carpenter's. The
Yeah.
town purchased that for the future building of the baseball field to get that off of Elm Street. That's why that land right there was purchased. This is the Park Street extension. This is for sale by John Wardwell. These houses have been built up in this area, part of the,
Some of them.
Some
There's a
of them.
couple that are
There's a
empty,
couple
but
lots
there's
left.
not gonna be like huge development.
you're essentially gonna have about this small
It's
area. here
behind
for
Woodland
residential
Heights.
growth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That doesn't connect to Forest Hill. Is that the one?
No,
Right?
Woodland Heights does, but
Oh,
yeah, this is off of Race Course Road.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
that race course, I haven't been down there in like years, but that's still dead ends.
It does. It dead ends right to the trail.
Yeah, by the
I was gonna
church.
say, yeah, right, there's no place to connect that with anything else.
Well, hold on a minute, I'll turn the zoning back off so you can see. But, so if you go out Race Course Road,
So we essentially kind of need to change the zoning, is what you're saying?
if you go out Race Course Road and then continue on Donovan, you'll see Donovan comes out down across those two lots that Justin Clapper bought and over to this one that Stephen
So where the
Gray
sharp
owns.
corner is, if you stay straight, that's Donovan.
So in theory, you could connect that to either, this is Heritage Park, the Industrial
Mhm,
Park Road, or you could put a new road. I mean, there are ways it could be done, but
And I know, like, trying to, like, drop kids off up at those schools in the morning,
Oh, I
it's
know.
crazy. And now, if you ever had something bad and you had to shut that down, bad car crash, up to, for whatever,
Yeah.
there's only one way in, up in that area, right? It just seems like not, I thought that was like gonna be temporary, that, I didn't know if that was gonna connect to anything else, just to give an another way out of that. If you're
not
stuck
as it
with that
stands
school.
right now.
Yeah, no, and I think
And you'd have to cross the Miles Lane Trail now at this point,
Yeah.
because there's
Yeah.
no way to not cross the.
no, yeah, I mean you can move trails on land. So like that would be part of the plan. Like if the baseball field were to come to fruition, part of the trail actually snuck onto Wendy Comforter's land. It's a very small part, but if you're gonna do a connection here and put a field here, you'd probably want to reroute your trail to the back end of the property, right? Put your field here, and we have hopes and dreams of what we'd like to do, because what Mark was saying is, especially in the morning, Miles Lane,
It's
if you
bad.
have kids, it's tough to get into there, so
Right,
it's
if
one
you-
way up, one way out,
Yeah.
and then you have parking on the side. The grand plan would be to keep the varsity soccer field, change this field, it's an old softball field that's hardly ever used whatsoever, into parking. Take parking off of the main road, so now you have a throughway, you have a turning lane, and you have a get out of town lane, right, to get down back towards Broadway. That would all be part of the master plan to get to here, but there still doesn't address the concern that there's only one way in and one way out.
Right.
Unless you had a road that looped up and
Up and
came back and
around,
around and came back
yeah.
down.
Right, and this property, I believe, is owned by,
Yeah, but even if, like, where it goes up and to the school, if you came down, like, see where it comes up by the middle school?
Yep.
So right on that corner, if you came down, back through the backside and behind the Bucksport rink.
this is the one the town owns where they're gonna put the field, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
can we, but if you snuck that over to the right of the lot or to the left of the lot, and then I guess the right would make more sense.
Put a road down through them,
Yeah,
Towards here?
yeah,
and then down through.
and then up behind
Oh,
the
so Park Street
rink.
would go up and connect.
Yeah,
it,
go
Yeah.
connect to the parking
Well,
lot.
yeah, Park Street was supposed to at one point, but with those plans falling through, and then there's something with DEP.
Oh.
I'm not, I'm not sure if it ever will, because
That's pretty wet in there.
it's very wet in there.
Yeah.
But
So we
yeah,
need to
so
change-
essentially, the resi growth is going to have to be pretty, in my opinion, it's gonna have to be pretty creative.
We should have a residential growth area where we want to focus development.
So-
But it's hard to do that when the land that we own is used as the Miles Lane trails and people don't wanna give that up. The other land is owned by people that don't wanna sell it. And
How big is that parcel again?
Which one, the
The,
Miles Lane?
The
Yeah.
one with the field, yeah.
that
And
one,
also the one with the ring.
Oh, the one with the rate, this
Yeah,
right here?
Yeah,
Yes,
that one, how big is that?
well, it's all, you see how the yellow, it's all like one big,
No way to like.
No,
go
no,
on.
I don't think they wanted that one, Luke. I think they wanted the one by where the field, the one the town bought for the
That
field,
one's
right?
70-something acres, but yeah, that one.
this was
Yeah, the one
like,
that Wendy, the,
The one that Wendy sold the town, I think 4 acres.
there's no parcel data for that because it's still connected to the one down below in GIS.
Yeah.
Does that lot go all the way to the Route 1? the one?
It did with a right of way. I'm not sure you can see, there's a broken purple line next to this yellow, and the purple line, is a right of way. So you could access that from there. When you drive up there, they have a dumpster and pole. I believe there's poles in the way over there too as well. Now again, I'm trying to use it with GIS, and there's room for error, right, with the lines. They may not be precise.
Now, by buying that land, did that take us back into compliance with the?
Buying that land took us back into compliance with the federal government because we were not supposed to sell the parking lot that is owned by Bucksport Regional Health Center.
Yeah, but that put us back into compliance with that.
Correct, because when those fields were built, Miles Lane did not exist. They were the fields off of Miles Lane, and your way for parking and to get to those was through where the health center is. So that was a big miss on the town's behalf, so we had to come up with roughly 4 acres of land to fix a past,
Well, that's good, cause then we can get some,
potentially. I did try to apply for one for the playground and we got declined, but
So,
but
How's
now
the-
we're back in compliance, so
Yeah.
maybe we could try again.
for something different. Yeah.
how's the, this is just anecdotal, because I mean, I work in the schools, but if this is residential, I mean, you're building this, I don't see like an increase in the school population, and you'd think if people were coming in with families,
Mhm.
that would manifest itself in higher class sizes. As a matter of fact, I think this year's incoming kindergarten class was 40, 50 kids or something.
Kindergarten
It
was
used to
less,
be
yeah.
in 80 to 100, right,
Yep.
and even more. My
But I
son's
also
was
think that, like,
125.
if you look at people are having kids later in life, I feel like that also plays
Mhm.
into it. I think we used to have a younger population having children, and I don't think we have that.
People
as
had
much
Well,
more.
there.
your numbers are at the
Just-
high school. Your numbers are at the high school now. The high school numbers continue to increase, but you're right. We went from 5 kindergarten teachers, I believe, to 3.
Correct.
And then I think the state has mandated or will be mandating that 3-year-olds will now be having to do do schooling.
Pre-K?
Who's
For
mandating this?
3-year-olds?
State of Maine.
Oh, I was gonna say, that doesn't
Good
sound like a
luck on
federal
that
government
attention
thing.
span.
3-year-olds?
3-year-olds?
Yep, and they cannot take the bus. I believe you have to be 4 or 5 to take the
What
bus.
an
Oh, it's
inconvenience.
happening.
That's crazy.
It's happening.
What?
Your son's
Um,
gonna be
Yeah.
a pre-K soon.
Good luck.
Well,
Good
Yeah.
luck.
It-
That's all I can
I
say.
think it solves a couple of things. I think daycare is hard to come by and very expensive. So I think some parents are gonna
It's gonna
be,
be part-time.
Yeah, no, I think
Half a
I
day
think
or
it only
half
I think it's only 8 to noon, and there's no transportation.
That's convenient for all the parents that have to work, you know.
well, they-
But they have the choice not to send them.
Oh,
They
said
do have
had
a
that. I thought you
choice.
said they
Okay.
had
They
No,
were
the
mandated.
school has to accept them,
Oh.
but you as parents have a choice. You can homeschool.
Oh.
Right.
You can send them to daycare. You
Yeah,
have a
but
choice.
if you need a daycare, this doesn't cost you anything, right? And it's with certified professionals, licensed, insured. So I think the state's trying to, I mean, I think it could be helpful if you're, trying to like find daycare and it's for half a day.
We have to take him to school, then have somebody pick
Pick
him
'em
up and
up.
take him to a daycare
'Cause-
for
and
the
I-
remainder for
yeah.
a full-time parent.
Right, that's hard, right?
Yeah.
That's hard. It
Yeah,
used
but
to-
you have the choice not to. You have the choice as a parent
Right.
not to send them.
I mean,
but yeah.
our society now is like, it takes 2 incomes really to have to live a middle-class life. It used to just take 1. I grew up lucky times, right? Those don't really exist anymore, so,
Nope.
I don't know.
I think we're getting the kids jobs at this point.
Well,
I think we're
You
getting
know what I mean?
sidetracked.
But anyways, yeah, we are
That's-
getting sidetracked.
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah, that was just one thing that something that this committee should
So,
potentially look at.
so has the population of Bucksport increased? I mean, we haven't done census for 5 years, so.
No.
No, I think what's happening is people are having less kids, but we still have the same population in town, so that means more people are coming to town. But
So-
there's maybe more families, but they all have 1 kid or 2 kids rather than half as many families with 4 kids.
I mean, my
Does that
first
make
day at
sense?
Bucksport High School, we had 586 kids. I remember that number.
Yeah.
And that was at 1986. And we had about a little over 4,000 people in the town. It
Yeah.
was under 4,400.
It's
Right.
4,985.
I'm talking about 1986.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and today it's 4,985.
Yeah,
It still has grown.
today's virtually 5,000 people, and the high school went from almost 600 down to about 300. So the population of Bucksport is, I would infer from that data that we're getting older. It's growing. I mean, we're aging. I think it would be good to see to offer and to consider this, and this would be long-term, and it's gonna be hard, especially now with the not mill rates, but the taxes haven't gone up. What are some of the things that families like, if you wanna draw, like, just to keep the mix of like young and old, and not just like retirees move in? What are some things that families like?
The average house right now is bought by a 40-year-old.
Which is, yeah, if,
So the first time home buyer's age is 40.
40, 35.
what if they're having kids later, do you know what I mean?
Right, but I'm just saying, like, the person that's gonna come here and buy their first home is probably gonna be around 40.
Well, that sounds awful late
So,
in life.
But that's what that's
That's
the
what we are seeing.
Realtor.com just came out with an
I think-
article that said that that's the average,
I
which
think,
is up
Takes that
from
long
like
to make enough money
38.
to buy out.
so
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
this is
it
a
is.
great place to raise a family, right? And I mean, I seen it like, I mean, it's been my, working with kids, is what I've done. And, I think that there are things if we wanted to enhance, I mean, in its long-term projects, maybe put it in some kind of dream plan. You know, it'd be nice to have, it's like a place, if you had a pool, senior aerobics, water aerobics, weekend swimming lessons. I took my kids to Ellsworth or Bangor. It would be nice if I had that option. I mean, I won't have any more kids, but that's some of that stuff. A dog park, families like those, right? That's like really low cost. Put it up in,
There's a dog
by
park
Miles
in
Lane.
Orland.
What?
There's a dog park in Orland.
If you, having that closer, I mean, that's a really like low cost. It's a chain link fence up by, you know, Miles Lane Trails. Silver Lake Trails or something. Put a chain link fence, boom, dog park done. It's just one more thing. I think having a skate park. I think having, I mean, we have a lot of things that a lot of communities don't have. And I think we live in a place so long, we kind of we look at the other towns and we're always like thinking about what we don't have. And I think if we have a lot here, when you look at a safe, walkable community, place where you know your neighbors, you can walk to, I mean, my wife broke her arm, can't drive, but she can walk to physical therapy. If she was in Orrington, you know, I can't drive her because I'm still working. So I mean, that's been huge. Just have my kids walk to the movies, walk to the playground, walk to the town pool. It would be nice if that was an option. I think families love that, you know, swim time for kids. It's good for, you know, senior aerobics. It's too bad we didn't have a real why. I mean, we can't, that's not our choice necessarily. We can offer incentives. I don't know. To me, I think that if we thought, like, what do we want to be long-term? And I mean, these are just like dumb ideas I'm coming up with right now, but there may be some way to shape the town. I mean, we will go forward and we will grow, either with a direction or just, you know, stumble along in any direction, wherever the winds happen to take us. I don't know, I think we could do maybe a little bit better with that, providing, you know, where, and have the people, but I don't think anybody would be against keeping a town that's not just another Castine, that, you know, you've got vacation homes and retirees, and we turn into some kind of ghost town in the winter. We could go that direction, and if we're not careful, if we not try to encourage the kind of community that we want. And I don't know what that is. I mean, I'm just one guy, but
I agree with you.
so
I think you're definitely on point with that. But what do we have to do with this zoning thing? I think you have a lot of great ideas. I'm just trying to stay on so we don't get lost in what we were doing. So the zoning
good.
thing.
You did bring me back to.
We were just saying that
We were
we're gonna have
start
to
off
look at the
with kids.
zoning and find some new areas that we wanna try and steer residential growth.
So here's one. I don't know. We can't. I mean,
It's
it would be good if like this. Could you do this possibly? Maybe this is like too crazy and not doable. If there was some way to get some of that property back from AIM, you got these parking lots up there that, you know,
It sounds like you like in town. That's a big thing for you because it brings, and that might be something that people, I think it's a good sales pitch on having things if we focus this zoning in closer to
Do you know what I
town,
mean?
what we have
So-
for lots.
and I don't know if that's a way to get, I mean, that's just sitting there. You could build nice little neighborhoods. I mean, you could build, you know, more updated town sites or something. People like that stuff. And if you're a good drive to Bangor, right, that's because it's affordable and it's beautiful here, so.
What's the zoning on
I mean,
that
could
side?
they,
Industrial.
but yeah, but we could,
It's
that could be
industrial.
changed. And I don't think there's anything bad with the soil. It was just basically parking lots, right?
Yeah, it all belongs to Whole Oceans.
all of that
All of
land?
that?
That owns, the whole ocean's owns all of that.
Can you go to
Can
that
you
part?
see it? Can I?
Well, I can't, he's gotta do it from there.
The other thing to consider about your idea is, the cost of building today is out of control. I mean, $400 a square foot. So if you have 1,000 square foot home, it's $400,000 home. That's just the home. Forget about the lot cost. So the idea of like, you know, young
So-
families coming is
No.
kind of a pipe dream.
I don't know, it just like having a youthful community, I think.
But even
just keeps it
apartments,
viable.
like, so
Even
the
duplexes.
apartment buildings that Chris built that were part of the Mills thing
oh.
that Pepin did, like those are, I believe, always full. I mean, for people that, so I mean, even if we had not necessarily low income housing, but more apartments, because you might be 40 before you buy your first home, but you're looking for apartments. And I know a lot of people personally that reach out to us and say, do you guys know about any places that are for rent? And they're gone, so if somebody wanted
Well,
to
the problem is
build
a lot of those are turning into Airbnbs. I mean, we've got a short-term rental problem, as much as we don't want to admit it, we have a short-term rental problem that the apartment buildings are turning into short-term rentals. And we don't say no.
That, I mean, there are ways to limit those, other communities do that,
We tried.
We tried,
and
but we got pushed back.
Couple of rich people came to the council and ran their mouth and it didn't happen. Council was like, nope, we're not gonna do it. So
I mean, you know my idea about vacant unused property.
I do, and I'm working on it.
We have some very like significant ones in this community. You haven't done anything with it, then there will be a vacancy fee that doubles every 6 months until you do something with it.
Right.
And it could be everything from maybe an old department store on Main Street to, you know, part of like what Whole Oceans isn't doing. Why do we just allow our town to be held hostage by people that have a lot of money? It's, that hurts our town. And I think I said this to you last time, that I think as we were walking out, Bucksport is sort of like a mini county seat, really. We are the services for, like, maybe not all of Hancock County, but here, Prospect, Verona, people from Castine come here for services. You know, we send our, you know, fire departments out, or if there's something happened in Prospect, you know, our police. I mean, we're 24-hour staff police for quite a, you know, for a good area, the northern Penobscot Bay region. And I think, I mean, I'm not saying we should be a county seat, but I think that that's valuable, right? I mean, I know people that come from Winterport to shop in Bucksport, right? I don't know. I'm not sure that, I think we maybe look at ourselves wrong in a way as something less than, and I think we have a lot here to offer.
We do, yeah, I don't know why people would think we are less than. I mean, I would caution trying to pull a Bangor and Portland and fine people for not using their property for the way that you want them to, or that she wants them to, or that I want them to, because that's a mess.
What about 46, sorry, what about 34, 46 where the softball field is and the football field, what about that lot?
The Reggie Infield right here? I've mentioned that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
one of the areas.
That's
we're
one of
looking at.
the areas.
And then who owns 001, 009, with all that land up and behind there?
Hey, could you go back?
That's
point
Dead
out what
River.
Crystal was
Dead River
men-
owns
mentioning which lot?
Right here,
Aren't
this
those
one right here,
tanks?
Reggie Infield, it connects to Thomas Street,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
and then you could connect it right up through to
Okay.
Milk
the
Donald
Panquist
Street.
property.
The Panquist is going in there, isn't it?
Well,
Yeah.
I thought that was,
we approved
Well,
it,
we
but
approved
they
a
haven't
large-
done it.
large project, I thought,
Yeah.
were up there.
3 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, in fact, I haven't seen anything
If
going
not,
on.
we could probably connect to Seekins.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Potentially,
I mean,
yeah.
not direct, but,
I mean, just to
Or
finish with the previous, I don't know what's the problem that the Portland and Bangor are having with doing that? I mean, so it's
Because-
better to try nothing?
Well, no, I'm not saying it's to do nothing, so, okay, so I'm gonna be putting in the newspaper that we just took Mark's building on Main Street, cause he's not doing anything with it. I'm not gonna buy your property, cause if it takes me a year or 2 years that I can't do anything, why would I as a developer come to a town where someone can find me out of my property?
In the plan, you give people, you got 2 years, give it 3 years, or whatever. But when you start to get 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, now you're just like holding like the
Just
community
holding it, there's
hostage.
nothing
They're
stagnant.
paying taxes.
Right.
They're allowing the town to use.
Right.
I understand where you're coming from, but I'll tell you, I would caution it. Because other developers will see, well, the town of Bucksport has a 2-year plan to build something.
I disagree with you when it comes to the abandoned buildings, but when it comes to property that's not a dangerous thing or anything, I don't know that we can start telling people what they can and can't do with their property. I don't know.
So this is, the other thing here
The
is,
abandoned buildings thing, absolutely, I agree with you that, cause we've got dangerous buildings that
Several.
banks from who knows where own and.
without some incentive, property here is still a relatively good deal compared to the rest of the country and compared to the coast of Maine. The other parts of the coast, we're still a good buy in, price-wise in this community. Which I know people that come up and live 2-3 weeks in the summer, and then if there's a house that's just, that's fine. I guess that's, freedom to do that. But essentially, you get the same problem that happened in big cities in New York. You got people who are buying properties, holding them as part of some real estate portfolio. Meanwhile, it's driving up the cost for everybody else. And so you got rich people playing Monopoly when other people are really trying to live their lives.
Yeah, they need those write-offs. And
Great.
that's what they do. They buy stuff,
That's,
whether it's housing or commercial buildings
Gotta
or
get rid of the tax
they have to do it so that they're not paying personal property. I don't like it any more than anyone else does. I think we're more than a drive-through town. But like I said, I would caution trying to, if it's a dangerous building, it needs to be taken care of. And that shouldn't have to be anything that's said here.
No, I understand that. I think I feel like we're being too passive. We're not being active enough in terms of our, encouraging people. If I knew I had 2 years, if I had a building and I'm just gonna hold on to it just because I could, and I could afford the tax, even though our taxes went up, relatively speaking, they're still low. Compared, my sister in New Jersey has a house about my size, pays like $17,000 a year, has been paying that forever. When I told her, well, my taxes went up to $4,500, she's like, cry me a river, buddy, right? Call me when you get up to close to 20, right? So, and it's like that in a lot of other places. I got friends in Massachusetts. I know what they're paying for taxes. Even at our, the rates that we went up, we're still, compared to, if you're an out-of-state investor, unless you're in some super low tax place, right? Florida or something, it's where it's everything, or Delaware, it's gonna seem really high coming up here, but most of the country, we're still really affordable. So, I don't know. I mean, it's sad to see places that once had families, and I live on Elm Street, right?
Yep.
We have some empty properties up there, or largely empty properties. People own them, they're sitting on them, they're not doing anything with them. And it would be nice, before we go build more that out-of-state people can buy, that we try to do something and encourage people to work with the housing stock we currently have. That's step one, and then still build more, right? I mean, I'm not saying don't build, but we could build these things, and out-of-state people could come and buy them, and we still haven't increased the housing stock in this community. That's.
I can see what you're saying, but if they have a house and they choose not to live there,
Or rent
everyone's
it.
they're paying the tax. If they don't want to rent it, they're still paying their taxes, which is better than an abandoned property where people aren't paying their taxes, and then the rest of us
That
are all
would be
on
the
the
best
hook.
bet, is the abandoned homes and fixing those up.
I don't know. It's
And the
just-
town's already, did we just foreclose on 5 of them?
No.
How many
It was a lot more
is
than
there
that.
total?
Huh?
How many abandoned homes, is there total?
Well, that's hard to say. I mean,
We have a list.
Like more than 20?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Really?
50?
So, what about the church on Franklin Street? We can't do anything about that. I mean, the guy can just buy a piece of property and let it rot into the ground, and not do anything with it. It becomes an eyesore. Not even maintain the front of, not keep up the property.
But remember, we let Wilson
You have to
Wilson Hall sit there for 40 years. Sometimes it takes the right developer, and I've been working with the developer on that property. I don't tell everybody every little thing I do, because people run their mouth on Facebook and in the newspaper, and then the developers, the next thing they say is, "We're not coming here."
Yeah.
They get pissed when they see that stuff. Nobody knows, but the owners of the Roman Joe's have been on that Positivity Facebook page. I would be ashamed to be the owner of that page. That is the most negative site I've ever seen. But to get back on track, there's a lot of abandoned properties here, and if people are paying their taxes, which is what a good citizen does. They're part of their community, they pay their taxes. If they don't want to live here or rent it out. That's a choice that they have.
That's part of being a good citizen, but the other part is actually being like boots on the ground, like taking care of your property, right? That's not being a good citizen. You let your property go to ruin, it ruined just, I'm in the same neighborhood, he's taking,
Devaluates your
why do they get
property.
the right to take my property down? Because they don't maintain theirs.
I agree with
You
you.
live in a house.
No,
I agree, but what
Well,
gives,
no, you don't agree.
what
because
gives you the
you're-
right to be the
No, no,
judge
well, no,
of what they're doing is wrong and
Right,
what you want is right?
we have property we have property,
And if
Luke
you
and I
don't-
have just had this conversation. We have property standards that people have to maintain. I think they're weak. Luke thinks they're strong. That's our opinion. He's the code officer, and these are codes that this committee can look at. I believe they can look at it, right? This committee can look at it. If you agree with me and think that they're weak, then take a look at it and review them. If you think they're strong,
They're they're property maintenance standards. They're not what you were talking about, which are behavior standards.
but there's also the property maintenance. I mean, you can let someone
It's
no
weeds
no
that are
mow
6
May,
feet,
and then you
6
let the weeds go up
a
to your
street,
knees.
yeah.
I mean, that's
So,
I know, but I can't
Right?
take everybody in town to court for every little thing. I've gotta pick my battles.
but if the codes are there,
But then what's, if you don't enforce the rules, why have them? I guess
Well,
is I don't know.
yeah.
Or maybe we need to get more people to help you. If you can't do all the stuff, maybe that's one place that would benefit to get a second person. I don't know, but to just throw your hands up and say, I can't do it all, that's kind of defeatist to me. It's like, let's do something, let's address that and do something, maybe get more help, maybe you change the codes, but make the stuff so you can enforce it. I mean, the property in Elm Street I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
And then around the corner, that church, the old church that's,
Church, yeah.
yeah, and there's a couple of properties on Elm Street that are like,
There's people who want property on Elm Street to do
Yeah,
something
there's a
with
lot.
it.
There's 36 homes on the market right now
yeah, it's changed from a buyer's market
to a seller.
to a seller's market. Excuse me, from a seller, yeah, from
to
a buyer's,
market.
yeah.
It's now a buyer's market.
Yeah.
Especially with the buyers
Oh yeah,
market.
and things are gonna start sitting a lot longer. And the biggest factor that you can tell is the real estate agents and the homeowners are no longer knocking prices down by 1,000 or 2,000 at a time. They're knocking them down 25, 10,000 at a time.
Yep.
That is a sure sign that the market is starting to change, and now they're sitting for weeks. This is going to be a huge change, and the interest rate's gone down twice in a row.
It's not just the money. Now you have to deal with the cost of the house, the taxes of the house, and the insurance of the house. So there's not just the matter of price, which had gone up astronomically, but then there's also the fact that heating oil has gone up. Everything is going up. The cost of living has gone up. So then these people, that's why you have to be 40 to buy a house,
house.
because you can't afford. You've got to have 2 people in their career for a long period of time. But I do think, so I don't know, I'm not an economist, but I do know some of the classes we've gone to, they have talked about right now we're in a housing crisis,
We are.
but in 20 years, the population is decreasing. So we will have an overabundance of property. So I do feel that you're onto something as far as like fixing our property, but how do we do it in a way that allows people to have, I mean, it's their property. You can't go and tell people, I think that you pay taxes and you should be able to do, within reason, what you want with your property. I feel
Right,
like,
I'm
and people
not-
aren't gonna come by here no more than a developer.
I'm not talking about like limiting the colors you can paint your house or what trees you can put. I mean, it's not a covenant, it's really restrictive like
Well, let's
that.
just put it into perspective. Let's say you get a house through, your parents died, and you have a piece of land.
Okay,
So I can't do anything with that piece of land for 3 years that the town gave me. Should I lose that piece of land or have fees onto it? Like, how do you
is
set
that the current rule that you have to wait 3 years to develop?
No, I'm just saying that if we set some sort of like, well, if you don't do anything with your property for 3 years, we start creating these fees.
So
Where do you?
here's what I would say to that. What's your plan? You got 5 years? Okay, we'll waive whatever, non-use fee for 5 years, right? But you're at least requiring them to like state, this is my intent. And if that may come to fruition, and it may not come to fruition, but it's not going to just kind of sit, I don't know. There's like, I remember you're just like, what's going on? No one let you know. We got that bank building, right? Somebody bought that.
Yep.
And that's,
And I tried to put people in there, and it's his choice, but he doesn't want to put anybody in there.
right, that's, which is,
Right, because he's debating what he wants to do
I get
himself.
it. It's frustrating,
It's-
but
it's-
it's his building and he's paying the taxes.
yes, it's, he was a former student of mine, so.
But it's different though than
He's maintaining
the-
his building.
The town, the lot that the town owned, that the guy was supposed to be building something on, that's a different story.
Mhm.
Because he, in his contract, he was supposed to build something in a certain amount of time.
And all those people who had town property came to Economic Development Committee.
Mm-hmm.
They all gave an updated time frame. And then the next thing is, and the town doesn't have money, but the next thing is, we'll have to take them all to court. And that's,
Then why
those
have
are
a
the
contract
options.
then if they're not gonna honor it?
Well, that's
Well,
how it
because the
works,
first
even with
part
a
was
contract, you gotta
a-
take 'em to court.
The first part was an issue, the town had attorneys, the attorneys waited before they decided that they could not do that type of transaction. So then I had to find another attorney, that attorney had to do all this work. The paperwork that was left for me did not show that there was a sewer that ran through the middle of that property up to Mill Street,
Buck Street.
Buck Street. So the person bought that property from the town with surveys that the town was given that was inaccurate. They were gonna build properties on something where there was someone else's sewer on there, and that would have been a huge, so that was the biggest part of the delay, was one, our attorneys didn't give us enough time so that we could
Do your research.
get another attorney. So it's
what
that,
I'm-
when the town's.
But what I'm saying, it's different compared to people that inherit land and stuff and make them do stuff, you know.
No, I think if the town sells you something and you don't do something, then absolutely we'll pull that. We're pulling a lot back from the industrial park. But I just, like I said, I just caution you. I mean, if that's something that the town wants to go do, I would read up on what's going on in Portland and Bangor, and what people are doing to get away with it are just putting a for sale sign or for rent, and they don't want to rent it, but they're showing that they're doing something.
So there's 5 homes right now that are in foreclosure, you say? That,
More than that.
Well, at the last meeting, the town approved 5 that go to the realtor. The realtors have, because they got the new laws that the town just can't.
so
sell
it's not
them.
like that the town can say, hey, bid on this like,
Not
that
anymore.
way.
Nope. The state law changed, and it has to go to real estate agents.
Let's go to a license
Yeah.
agent.
And then anything over the amount of what is owed to the town goes back
to the
to
owner.
the owner, correct?
Is that why the issue in Ellsworth is happening?
Well, that was well, I don't wanna get, but that was pre
I
that
know we're
law.
probably going
correct.
spiraling
Well,
here.
that happened in 23 and that law hadn't taken effect yet, so the town of Ellsworth hadn't done anything wrong. But
But they did give the money back.
they gave the money back because they made it, yeah.
Well, anyways, so as far as going with that old zoning, do we need to change the zoning in the spots that have already been?
We need to study it and
Study
we
it.
need to, you know, look at that, come up with recommendations and then, you know, talk about updating our zoning maps, and there's a whole process for doing that. And then that would have to go to council and stuff, but I mean, it's not something we need to do tomorrow. This is something
Oh,
we
something to think about.
need to be thinking about, working on, cause comp plan happened in
17,
So that's coming up in a
Nice.
couple
every
of
10 years. You're required to do it every 10 years, so 2027 would be the next one.
Yes.
So if this committee had like an idea of what it should look like, because as I said, if you look at the 2003 comp plan and the 2017, it's the identical for the resi growth, and the Miles Lane trails were built, and homes were built, and
That means we grew, so that's good.
yes, I mean, and we still are. I mean, that subdivision you guys approved for Mike and Melissa Osborne, there's new houses going in all the time, and I get what Mark says. It's frustrating that if we didn't have all these abandoned houses, if we didn't have all these short-term rentals, and not just here, throughout the state, is there really a housing crisis? I agree. Is there really a housing crisis? We're causing this because we're allowing things like that to happen.
Towns are allowing.
Correct.
Oh my word, the short-term rentals. In this town, we've got like
I know there's one next door to me.
We've got like 60, but
In a town this size, 60.
But I
But-
don't think that,
60?
in my opinion,
bet
now
there's
having
200 in
apartments and
Moreland.
stuff, I
Really?
really feel like that will not change until there are protections for landlords. People will
Well, yeah,
continue
people-
to
Yeah,
go
there's no protection.
now,
on
but
it.
with that being said, there's a lot of people in the short term that are saying this, that the market is getting you know,
It's-
there's
it's
saturated.
Right,
It's saturated.
it's saturated, right? So, but I think that people, why would you rent your apartments? Like, let's just say a 4-unit. If I can make $120 a night,
Mhm.
that's pretty low
Mhm.
considering. And they're gone, and if they do some damage, well, it's not that big of a deal. Versus if I rent it long term, and they total my place, now it's thousands of dollars. And with all the laws of, and I'm not against anybody having an emotional support animal, but you have no way of, those animals still do damage. And there's another issue, okay? If somebody in here did damage to this property, it has nothing to do with your animal. Animals don't know. They're gonna smell another animal's whatever,
Scent,
you
yeah.
know, and they're gonna go pee on the floor. So it's not even their fault. You're setting them up for failure before they've even got there. But you can't explain that to them because it's an emotional support animal and you can't say no to them. So now you're stuck between a rock and a hard spot. So until we cross those bridges that we're not anywhere near, people are just gonna go to the path of least resistance, and that is, how do I make money to pay my taxes? That is do a short-term rental. And I think that that's the main thing.
And I'd have less problem with short-term rental if you owned a house and had a 2-unit or whatever, and you were renting the other one out as a short-term rental to make money for you and your family. But a lot of the short-term rentals are out-of-staters that are coming up here and specifically picking
even
properties to
They
buy,
don't live in town.
paying cash,
Yeah.
going back to Carolina, going back to DC, and they're renting them up here, short-term rentals through some agency. And it's just a big commercial, you know, it's one thing when it's, like you said, it's a landlord that's trying to not get taken. But
Yeah.
these are basically like commercial companies that are
Business.
just coming up
It's not
here
like
and.
us, where we're trying to build generational wealth for
Right,
our family.
right.
These funds are.
Have you run any short-term rentals? Have you done any?
I'm
have.
I'm actually getting ready to do one. I inherited my mom's house, and that will be
It was so much of
a
a headache.
turning pro, and it will be because it's a different animal. Like I have a 4-unit, and it's and it can be no problems at all for a very long time, and then it can be absolute chaos.
So I
I mean,
run,
I just have-
I
I
run
have-
both kinds of rentals.
I have a 4-unit right now that has thousands of dollars. It should be gutted, completely gutted. Thousands of dollars from a long-term renter. Thousands. And it,
Increase the security deposit from now on.
yeah, but there's no security deposit that would take care of the amount of damage. I could charge $100 extra.
And especially if they wouldn't leave either, then you
Right.
have to evict them.
And then you have to,
go
it's
through-
$100 for me to serve a tenant. Papers, $100 for me to serve a tenant papers because they didn't pay me rent. And then I've gotta go through the process. That's why people are like, passive least resistance, let's just do this. They can't, I can make more money, but it is a different animal because
Right,
now
it's-
you're in hospitality business, whereas if you're
Correct.
renting, you're
which-
not.
And you're taking away workforce.
I can't tell you how
Because-
many times
Because
that my
those
cleaners
people
didn't show up
need
on-
that type of living, and
to
we
do-
don't
to do
have it here.
Cleaning, like that was me doing, it was so hard to find people that would actually clean and show up. You know, they'd come and they'd do a good job 3 weeks, and then they'd be gone for 2 weeks, they wouldn't call in, and you know, then you're doing like all the stuff, and all the, can't tell you how much laundry I did. I'm like,
Yeah, I'm not saying it's definitely the easy button as far as like it's an end all be all, but I think a lot of real estate agents are real estate agents. They tend to be in the market, I think, but people who have had the ability, like I know a lot of people who have buildings in Bangor and they're like, I'm not doing this. I'm just gonna go Airbnb.
well,
But again, I go back, I'm on both sides of this fence. I really think you should let people to do what they want with their property. I think, you know, but I also understand that if you've got,
to the point that
somebody.
to the point that it could adversely affect a neighbor's property.
Well, that's subjective, isn't it?
Right, it is. I mean,
So,
I mean,
if I moved in next to you and I just was starting a garbage dump in my front yard, that
That's-
would be
so what if
okay?
you-
That's
what if-
different.
What if I
That's a
wanted
health
pigs?
thing.
What
That's
if
a
I
safety
wanted
and
to have
health
pigs? I
hazard.
like pigs, I wanna raise pigs in it.
Buy a property zone for that. Like, if you know that ahead of time, don't wanna raise pigs and then
I
buy,
didn't know that.
you
I
know,
just-
in buy in a dense neighborhood, and then like want everybody to change to
I'll have
your.
to figure that out.
Right.
So
But-
Rich mentioned about the weeds being knee high. I mean, I
Yeah.
have native wildflowers in my yard.
I don't care about that, the
Well,
first thing,
but
anyway.
then it's subjective, right?
Right.
'Cause you talk about weeds that are knee high, well, the goldenrod and the asters are more than knee high. So whose right is it to determine what it should look like?
There,
And what are
But
weeds
you
that are-
probably prune and clip and whatever and stuff. We're talking about neighbors that
wow.
have just weeds all
Right.
over and fences
Saplings,
falling
So-
down and
small trees.
everything
I,
like
I would say there are some things that aren't subjective, that are objectively like
Yeah.
not good. I can
Yeah.
think a couple of houses down from me on Elm Street, to, like, the roof was just repaired on that house, to, like, but it had a tarp up on the roof for about
The
7,
porch
8
is falling
years.
down.
And the porch is falling
Yeah.
down. And he wants to rent that as a duplex, but there's not two ways to get out of that building, cause you can't get out the porch, right? So until you, like, do some basic maintenance, and then you maybe could run it as a duplex. I mean, I don't know, that I think objectively, like, unsafe to have that property there.
Right, yeah, that's a bit of a different story.
So-
Like,
so-
is it inhabitable or not inhabitable?
Mm-hmm.
But somebody's
But
living there.
that's different than somebody growing, wildflowers versus weeds, that's a bit of a different scale.
Yeah, so, and, I mean, and you could, the lawn, whatever, do what you want with the lawn, right? I know some people think that they're helping, I know if you keep the lawn really high, then you get more ticks. I mean, you know what I mean, it could be there's, you can look at it from plus minus, but I'm talking about the, like, safety things,
Mhm.
right? And keeping that, for example, that church that's just falling apart. So even like if you're gonna develop that, unless you wanna like knock that building down and start again, if that's the plan.
Well, did I hear you say we have the ability to enforce an unsafe habitation, but it's just a matter of having the
That's what we
staff
did
to
with
do
the
it all?
Spring Fountain.
Right.
Of course,
So-
it's still in court.
Right, so we have one code enforcement, you can hire 3 more, you probably would still have your hands full.
Well, I mean, I could find things for them to all do.
But there's
I
a
mean,
lot of
it's-
buildings that are in that situation. that
Every
Marcus
time I go
described.
out to do an inspection, I drive by 10 properties that
Yes.
I'm like, oh.
Well, and that's like,
So,
But
that's also
it's,
like the curbside
I come
mowers.
back and I make a list, and then that
Just
list collects
sitting on
dust, and there's
concrete.
3 other lists, and
It's so trashy.
But it's not like they're not happening. That one that Chris Pepin's doing behind Tozer's.
Yeah.
That was a danger building.
That
We found a developer, he tore down and he built.
So-
The one on Millvale that Chris did.
so I had a
Tore it
question
down,
about that.
rebuilt.
Just like, is there anything in, like, how tall you can make a building
yes,
Yeah.
in town?
Air rights?
yes.
I mean, cause that's like the first skyscraper.
2 stories on top of
I
a
know,
garage.
it looks like ginormous from,
Yeah, but if
He's
Tozer's
on a
grew it-
street that's just like that.
Yeah.
That's- I mean, it looks some godly majestic when you're walking down Main. But, walk up Second Street and look in the driveway at it, and
It's
it looks
really not.
nowhere near
It
as
was,
big.
it's the
as it
same
does
height
the-
as the other one, it's not any more stories, the
Yeah,
old
the
building.
was
other
it?
one was
I don't know.
Yeah, the other one that was there, I think it was 3 stories.
Have you seen what it's gonna look like?
Mm-mm.
What it's going to look
What
like?
it's gonna look like?
I mean, I've seen what it's looking like.
I've got a finished
It's
product.
moving pretty quickly, actually, it's very nice, I think, I'm excited.
I wanna
No,
see
I'm
it.
not against it, I didn't know if that was like,
What a
Is it
view of the
apartment?
harbor 4 of those
Yeah, I
apartments
think
are
it's
gonna
gonna be a
have.
duplex, they said.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're still live, so
What?
we're all over the place, but we're still live.
Of course we are.
So anyway, start thinking about where to
Where's some
focus,
good areas to put, yeah,
That looks like the one in Brewer.
that is
It is one in
his
Brewer.
one in Brewer.
That's his one in Brewer. So it's a drive up, so it's a condominium, it's a.
Yeah,
it's
I've been
got-
in one of
that's got
those,
two.
yeah.
Mhm.
It's really nice inside.
Yeah, so I think that we just gotta kind of think about ideas, areas that we would think would be pretty, like that Ridgegan area. There's a lot of space and it connects to the in-town lots, which would be nice for any sort of, whether it's a townhouses, row houses,
so if
more.
you built a new baseball field, what happens to the one on Elm Street,
Oh, yeah.
that lot? Is there a plan for that? Or are you gonna take the Reggie Ginn field and then move all that, like, little
They're
kid
gonna be
stuff
grass.
into the old? Or is there something to do, or we just?
That baseball field's tough, so that's Summer Street.
yes.
Summer Street, the water line runs right underneath the middle of that field. It's 200 something years old and goes down to Mechanic Street.
Water,
I believe it's
I see, really? We're building
it's
water
1900,
lines?
early
And-
It's
1900s. I
old
think.
infrastructure.
Yeah, it's really old infrastructure.
I was gonna say.
No, it's not clay. It's what they used to make it out of.
It's clay.
It's
not
probably,
wood.
say
You
probably.
don't think it's cast iron?
No.
No, not
Clay.
that one.
There's a marker out there, and I thought it said 1895 or something on it, but I could be wrong.
That's, okay, I didn't know we were building
So
like big.
basically, it's gonna be a big pool,
Well, I don't know if I would want to
Playground.
build something over it.
right?
Wow.
I thought we could find a way to make it work. We'd have to reroute that line and then just abandon that one and then you could do stuff there. But
Can you?
I was shot down when I brought that up. But
I mean, there's a way to lay a water line someplace while you leave the existing one in place, right?
Correct.
And then- right.
so
So-
abandon the old one and use the new one, and yeah, that was my thought.
So what's how deep is the water line? It's like,
It's very deep
It's very deep.
supposedly.
okay, so, if you were to replace that, then let's say that's not an issue. Then what's to become of that particular, that's a couple of acres anyway, I would imagine, I don't know, it's a good size.
Could be a lot of things.
So I
mean,
think that's a good lot we could consider when we look at the map.
I mean, I'm thinking that could be, residential.
Yeah.
Right, that would be,
But at least,
Does that go into
One,
the
two,
thing
three,
is up
four.
on that lot, right? Cause that land was originally part of that. Are we talking about by the playground, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
baseball field.
Wasn't that land part of that,
Seminary?
No, it's not part of the federal government.
it wasn't,
No.
okay.
I was going to put it as part of it.
Mm.
But people wanted to talk about putting housing there and stuff, so the easiest thing was to, instead of throwing that in there, because I was considering doing the football field in it, because the football field's not in it either. But the state said it makes more sense not to do that because the age of that high school, if you ever need to rebuild a high school, where are you gonna build another one? You'd probably be better off building a newer one in the current location of the football field and track. And then once you take down that school, you then have an area to put your new football field and track.
It doesn't seem like we'll need to rebuild the high school, it's pretty well maintained, I think.
Jeez, I cry, how old
But
is it?
it's in perpetuity.
Right.
If you put that land in recreation, you can never take it out. Fort Knox is in that. As part of the federal grant, correct, you cannot do that.
Okay.
So that's why
not
they
supposed
said
to.
not to. You're not supposed to, cause then then you don't get anything and it's a mess. It's how the town got a lot of its recreational stuff. The tennis courts, the ice rink, lights and all that good stuff.
So that would mean you can't do anything with Miles Lane Trails?
That's not federal money.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, it had to be from federal money. Yeah.
Which is where like the soccer field and stuff was.
The soccer
Which is where
field.
the daycare and stuff was.
Well, thank you. You'll probably never have me talk again.
Do we need to discuss anything else?
no.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay,
I had one small question.
let's move on, hold that, let's move on to item 9, discussion.
And George he's up first, he wanted to discuss it.
So,
There you go, George.
I had a concern from people in my neighborhood. They were wondering the possibility of putting something like a speed bump on Elm Street during baseball season, like they have young kids. They're like, people zoom up and down, way exceed the posted speed limit. And in terms of public safety, that was their question. I don't know what else to do. You can put a sign,
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a
I could
public
ask,
works
we
and
should
council
talk
question.
to Sean about putting the
Yes.
blinky thing up there,
Like-
the,
Slow down.
slow down.
They have a
Yeah.
couple of those, I hesitate to call them speed bumps, cause they're like,
They're really big.
yeah,
Mhm.
they have them up in Bangor on that road between the hospital
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Stillwater.
It's like,
mhm.
But I think those kind of speed bumps, the plow can actually go over and
Mhm.
not rip up the rest. I mean, it might be something that's feasible, but that's not my department.
No, I
That's
didn't know where to go with the.
Police department, Sean and
Public
Dave,
safety.
and
I'd
then.
definitely
they
say
would
public
talk with-
safety.
Talk
I mean,
with Jay.
They've got a progression of what they need to do to address things like, the first thing would be probably, yeah, you're right, there's a problem. Let's start with putting a sign up, see how that works. You go 6 months. Problem hasn't been solved, okay, let's move on to the next thing. Maybe more signs, oversized signs. Oh, no.
So it's particularly bad during baseball, you know, everyone let baseball practice out, you got a bunch of like teenage drivers that like to go faster than probably I do. But with little kids that run out and I don't know.
Sure. Speed bump might just make a jump for him, I don't know.
My other question was, is there any progress on like the Old Spring fountain there? I mean, is bought and not really, won't get any occupancy certificate, I would imagine.
They,
Or is that just gonna continue to sit there like?
No, the owners have been working on it, they've had plumbers in there that have, gone through and identified hundreds of leaks and fixed them. They're now going through and fixing, a lot of the illegal plumbing work that was done. You know, they did, when those illegals were in there, they did stuff like those corrugated pipes. I don't even know, it looks like flexible I don't know why they sell it at Lowe's and Home Depot, so people think.
You're talking about, it's like flexible
Yeah.
pipe for like under the sink and stuff.
They put that in for traps and stuff, so that's all gotta be removed and proper traps put in and stuff. So plumber's been working on that. There's a heating guy had been in there, he removed the 1950s, 60s era boiler out of building 2 that was like the size of a Chevy van. I mean, that thing was huge. So that's been removed, all the new heating equipment is there, but he hasn't come back to actually install it yet. They've had electricians in there and I've met with them and walked through everything with the electrician and the state electrical inspector. And
And it's not gonna be a hotel though.
that's what they're saying, but it's gonna be I don't know. It's not gonna be a fancy one. I don't know. I mean,
Oh, no, I mean,
It's gonna be short-term rentals. Like a-
supposedly. But I mean, it'll probably be by the week. But that still falls under motel, hotel. There's nothing I can.
No, but it's moving towards actually being used again, not just sitting
Yes.
idle.
Not necessarily the way we'd like, but once it meets code, there's only so much I can do, so.
So, the other thought I had was on Park Street. I mean, that's,
Park Street.
yeah, right. Like you wanted to change zoning to allow, I mean, could that be changed to like allow for residential once you get past
I think
Wenbell and
residential is
the
allowed.
apartments, what?
I think residential is allowed there, it's just the lots are very expensive.
I mean,
You're
that,
talking up behind Family Dollar.
right, I mean, there's that one garage thing.
Penquist looked at that too, before they ended up buying the property up there on Middle Street, but they looked at those lots, they were thinking about buying a couple of them and using it for multifamily housing and stuff, but it didn't end up happening. But we keep trying, anytime a developer comes to us, we start pointing out all the different properties, and Larry Wall has a couple, there's that one that, was the Hoffman property, there's,
You mean on the waterfront?
no, she had a piece of property up between Pond Street and, and the motel.
Oh, yeah.
There's different properties around, and we shop them around, but there are some challenges on some of them have ledge, some of them have wetlands, so there's challenges, but we're trying. I mean, challenges can be overcome or worked around, but they have to be willing to, and everything costs so much now that it's any little challenge that would have just been we can work around that, we'll throw 50 grand at it, and now it's throw 500 grand at it to solve a little problem. Everything's so much more expensive. But we're trying. And yeah, those Park Street lots, people do look at them, but I do hear a lot of people say those prices are pretty high.
It's a
Two of them have been
100K.
sold.
What,
What's
to
that?
what?
Two of them have been sold.
Really?
The one with the garage and then the one just north of that one.
Who bought that one? Or do we not know?
I've seen the name, but I don't know.
I only knew about the one with the garage, so. Yeah,
George, did you have a question?
I forgot.
Well, you knew what it was. He was talking to you about it before the meeting, I guess.
I was talking about the original focus of the industrial park.
Oh,
What the purpose of the industrial park was. I thought it was to, you know, build, you know, employment for
Absolutely.
jobs and all that kind of stuff in town, and that's why you give them a special deal on the lot, is so that it increases
Jobs.
jobs.
Yeah, I
And
feel like we strayed away from that some.
it seems to me we, like that thing we just did tonight, we doesn't even meet the whole idea of the industrial park.
Well, it was 3 jobs,
Just little
or
storage
3 more
building.
jobs or something.
Is there, there's a minimum,
Yeah,
isn't
yeah,
it 4?
Yeah, but I don't know, I mean,
You get
Rich,
2, it's
Rich
gonna
can
go to
speak to
5.
this maybe more than I can, but I mean, the very first one that was ever sold up there was to Dean Hoke for something very similar to this. He built a big garage building for, at the time, he was building portions of homes and stuff like the walls and stuff like that. He was building them there and then taking them to the job site and stuff, but it was a handful of employees and it was just a big garage, and now it's used for Auto Elegance, which is a good business, but it's just 1 or 2 people up there that are doing custom auto stuff and,
Michelle and Erica on the backside still doing
Yeah.
what they were with Dean, so
And
there's
then
4 people working. with him.
U-Haul's there, and then they've
Well,
got
but
another,
that's, he runs the U-Haul out of it. It's
and
those
they're
2
run,
people.
and then there's another
I'm
company.
not criticizing,
No,
I'm
but
just
there's
saying
another
that the
company
very
that's
first
in
thing
the,
that was ever put up
was
there,
Bucksport Works,
and I
that's
agree with you,
renting
that-
that space.
that was the goal, was to bring in industry and jobs and economic, wealth through property tax, personal property tax and stuff. But the very first thing we did was Dean Hoke. I liked Dean Hoke a lot and I liked his business, but, I don't think that fit either, so
But I
don't
also
know.
think that as time goes on, you have to look, cause that land sat up there
It's been there a long
vacant
time.
for a very long time, creating 0 tax revenue. So you have to kind of be flexible and idea with,
Something's better than nothing.
right,
Yeah.
but also with the idea, I get like what you're saying is, you know, let's keep it industrial. I don't know as though you can say like, well, you have to have 4 employees and if you know, it's just things like that I think you have to be, you have to change with the times and understand that, I mean, we have businesses on Main Street that are vacant. You know what I mean? Because there's a reason that businesses cannot sustain.
Yeah.
You know, and if we've got people that are like, hey, I wanna bring my business to your town, and we have an option to help them out
Yeah.
and bring revenue and increase that tax revenue, because the property's better now, the property will be better with that building on it.
And that particular lot was a challenging lot. It gets wet if you go back way beyond where he wants to be. So because his is a fairly small project, it worked well on that lot, but there were a lot of people that looked, and Rich wasn't able to put them on that lot because it wouldn't suit their needs. But we also, a couple of years ago, made changes up there to the zoning to allow the automotive, so that Dave could go up in there, and he built that huge facility that's gonna generate a lot of tax revenue and has quite a few jobs.
Yeah.
And Mike Hawes's building is a big facility that's generating some tax revenue, so I mean, they're doing some things. They're not Greenhead Lobster, but.
But my last question was about, I remember oh, never mind, I'll save it for next time.
You'll remember after we
No,
bang
no,
again.
I just, looks like we've been here a long time, so it's bigger. I'll email it to you.
So that was your last question.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm
All right, let's move on
I'm done.
to item 10, adjournment.
Yes. A motion.
I second that.
Motion second to adjourn. Do we need any discussion on that? All in favor?